Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome everyone to the CBH UK special Hajj webinar for Hajj 2024. I'm your host, Abdul Akbar, and soon you'll be joined by Shaykh Yunus Dudhwala and Rashid Mogradia. We'll be taking you through all the interesting topics around Hajj 2024. And as you've probably heard, the Nusuk app currently is now open and packages are being shown, and I'm sure many of you will have lots and lots of questions tonight on exactly what's on offer. So we're going to be answering as many of those questions as possible as a service to you, the British Hajj, on tonight's live webinar. And welcome and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all of you joining tonight's webinar. So the program in a moment is that we're going to be going to Shaykh Yunus Dudhwala for some opening remarks. Then we'll go to Rashid Mogradia, the chair and CEO of the Council of British Hajjis, and he'll be taking us through a really important presentation in order to understand the prerequisites and all the essentials for Hajj 2024. And then after that, we'll be taking your questions live here on the webinar. So if you have any questions, you'll see that within this Zoom call, you can actually post a question, and I'm going to be going through the list of questions in a moment, in around 30 minutes time, inshallah. So stay tuned, lots coming up, and we know there's lots of content to cover, and we'll be answering as many of those questions as we can. But without further ado, let me go ahead and give the microphone to Shaykh Yunus Dudhwala, who is also a Hajj guide and has been going on Hajj for many years, and he'll be introducing and kicking off the session this evening. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abdul Akbar, jazakumullah wa khaira, ahsan al-jazan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to all the viewers and listeners today. Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. We have all joined, hopefully, this webinar because we have the intention to perform Hajj this year, 2024. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make everyone's wish and dream come true. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for each and every one of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made Hajj farad at least once for those who have the ability to do so, whether physically and financially. Both physically and financially, not whether physically, but both physically and financially. If you are able, then one should perform the Hajj. One should perform the Hajj. Then, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam that give the adhan for Hajj. Give the adhan for Hajj. And the ulama and the mufassirin, they mention under this verse that Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, after building the Kaaba and he was told to give the adhan for Hajj, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam asked the question, oh Allah, there's nobody here. There's nobody here. Who is going to hear me? I can give the azan, but nobody's going to hear me. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, oh Ibrahim, your job is to give the azan. And my job is to make sure that your voice reaches every single human being who is here in this world today and who is to come until the Day of Judgment. Allahu Akbar. As-sa'yu minna wal itmamu min Allah. There's an Arabic saying that the effort should come from us and the completion comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was telling Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. That you make the effort, you give the azan, and then whatever needs to happen after that about your voice and where it goes, whether there's a mic system, there's no mic system, whether it's the top mic system, you go to some masajid and they have the top mic system, you have other masajid and they're complaining about the mic system. Don't worry about mic system. No mic, nothing. I will make your voice reach every single human being who is to come until the Day of Judgment. And we who were not born, we were not even born, we were in the alam-e arwah, the world and the realm of the spirits. We were just spirit, we were just a ruh. And what is this ruh? Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Bani Israel, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. Nobody knows what this ruh is. It's a matter of my Lord, Allah says in the Quran. So this ruh, when it enters into the body, we become life. When it comes out, when we become a body. So when we were just ruh, before we were placed into our mother's womb, we even heard the azan. And the ulama have written in the tafsir that those people who heard the azan and said labbaik once will perform hajj once. And those who said it twice will perform hajj twice. Those who said it 4 times, 5 times, they'll perform hajj that many times. So my dua is that each and every one of us said labbaik at least once. And each and every one of us, for that labbaik that we said, my dua is that inshallah, this year, that labbaik will be answered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, there's lots of things that change over years. You know, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah. I went to Hajj the first time over 25 years ago, I think. I can't even remember. But the first time I went, you know, there were, the way it was managed was different. And then there were changes that kept on coming, kept on changing. This changed, that changed, this changed, that changed. Hotels have changed from where they were next to the haram. They've all gone far away. All of those 3-star hotels have gone. All of these things have gone. How we book packages have changed. And especially since COVID, everything has changed. With the Saudi Vision 2030, there's a move to try and make everything digital. So in this period where there's a lot of changes happening, last year there was a lot of apprehension, a lot of concern from Hajis before we went. Or, you know, packages came out very, very late. And people didn't know how much the packages were going to cost, and then the payment issues and all of these. So in every era, difficulties will be different, but there's always difficulties because Hajj is not supposed to be easy. Okay. When the Prophet ﷺ went for Hajj, he had to go on a camel for 13 days from Medina Munawwara to Makkah Mukarramah. Yeah. When our ancestors, those who are from the Asian subcontinent, went for Hajj, they had to get on a ship during Ramadan or just before Ramadan to make the journey to Hajj for 1 month on a boat, 1.5 months on a boat. So their difficulties were different. Our difficulties are about anxieties. What kind of packages are going to come out? Which packages am I going to choose? How do I book my package? Will this system work? Will my e-wallet work? Will the money I transfer? All of these are going to be anxious moments. But there is no Hajj without difficulty. And whichever packages you choose, whichever guide you choose, they will be there to help you as much as possible. For some people, the help will be good. For some people, the help will not be enough. But that's all going to be part of the trial. So mentally, and this is just going to be my last message before I hand over to Rashid, mentally, I would advise each and every one of us that don't think that this booking system or planning for Hajj is going to be easy. And then Hajj itself is not going to be easy. Mentally be prepared for difficulty. And just whilst you are prepared for that difficulty, don't ask for difficulty. There's a difference between asking for difficulty and being mentally prepared for difficulty. So don't ask for difficulty, but mentally be prepared for difficulty in a way where you think that, okay, this difficulty has come. Oh Allah, make it easy for me. Oh Allah, I am making intention to perform Hajj only for your sake. Oh Allah, make it easy for me. Oh Allah, accept it from me. Oh Allah, make my heart sincere that I only do it for you. And whatever difficulties come, Ya Allah, make them easy. Make a path that it becomes easy. Help me choose the right package which is right for me and for my family. all these du'as, keep on making du'as. And keep on making du'a that Allah, I am making intention to go this year, but it's your hands, it's in your qudra, in your hands, whether you accept it from me or not. Do not let any of my bad actions become a barrier for me not to go for Hajj. Oh Allah, please forgive me and accept me for this year's Hajj. So we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes us with afiyah, with ease, with comfort, without difficulties. But if any difficulties come our way, then Hajj is not supposed to be easy. We'll get rewarded for it, and we keep on trying and trying, but mentally be prepared all the time that some difficulties will come, and inshallah we will overcome them, and Allah will make it easy, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. And before we pass over to Rashid, I just want to welcome everyone who's just tuned in to the CBH UK 2024 Hajj webinar live here from around the UK, remote. And many of you have tuned in. In fact, hundreds of you have joined this live webinar. And we're taking questions after Brother Rashid's presentation. So if you do have a question, you can use the Zoom app to post your question. Currently, we have quite a few, so we're going to be going through as many of those as possible. And with that, let me go ahead and pass the mic to the CEO of the Council of British Hajis, Rashid Mogradia. Over to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Abdul, for that introduction, and Jazakallah khair to our resident Shaykh Yunus. It's unbelievable how quickly time really does fly, and we just remembered getting ready for Hajj last year, Hajj 2023, and going through these emotional roller coaster rides, and that's just us as guides. And we totally feel what the pilgrims are going through right now. And I think it was important that we held this webinar just to put people's minds at ease, to show them that, you know, there is help out there, there is support out there. And ultimately, you know, these poignant reminders that Shaykh Yunus alluded to should bring solace to our hearts, that ultimately this is Allah's calling. We can only try, and we are in His infinite mercy that He invites us all, inshallah, for Hajj this year. So without further ado, I think we the house is actually indeed very full tonight. So I'm really pleased with that. I'd like to share my screen, and then we'll kick that off. Bismillah.
Rashid, you're getting me anxious here. The technical difficulties have started. I'm sure they haven't.
We're there now.
Inshallah.
Yeah, and we're on our way. Apologies there, technical difficulties, no doubt, but alhamdulillah. So this evening, we're going to concentrate basically on selecting your package on the Nusuk Hajj platform. For those of you who may have joined us quite late on, or looking to register, or in the initial phases of registering on the Nusuk platform for your Hajj, I would strongly recommend that you head over to our YouTube channel. We've got the previous webinar where we covered steps 1 to 7 in readiness on how to book on Nusuk, how to activate your preferred category, activate your e-wallet. And we are now at this stage where just last night the packages were being released, and they will continue to be released over the coming days for you to browse and start preparing your e-wallets in readiness to purchase your packages as well. So we won't be covering them steps, but I will quickly zoom through to where we are today. So I'll cover Hajj packages, transportation, Hajj services, the roles and responsibilities of Hajj guides, and we'll head over to the Q&A as well. First and foremost, what I want to do is advise you all to go and see your GP just to make sure that your immunizations are all up to date. Just yesterday, we saw the new health guidelines that have been released on the Nusuk website, stating that those that are coming from the United Kingdom need to be immunized against meningitis, ACWY, which has always been the case for over 20 years. And in addition to that, to be COVID immunized as well. That's the 2 doses, not the boosters. Now, we have raised a little query with the team at Nusuk to say whether that could be made as a recommendation as opposed to mandatory. And inshallah, we should be able to get some kind of feedback in the next week or so. But as it stands, as the rules stated, meningitis, ACWY, and the COVID vaccinations are a must. If you're from other countries, you'll need additional requirements such as yellow fever and other requirements. But head over to the Nusuk website and look at the health guidelines on that basis. And if you're on medication, go and see your GP so that they can understand and give you the kind of medications that are needed during your Hajj journey as well. A lot of this we will cover in our health webinar after Ramadan, inshallah. But these are prerequisites for you to get ready. So if you are in need of immunizations, you need to start booking that in with your GP, travel clinics, so that you can get your appointment and get immunized in time. For further information, go to the Travel Health Pro website. This is, regardless of where you're traveling to, it gives you a lot of information on the travel health, immunizations and health and advice tips as well. So do head over to Travel Health Pro as well. Nusuk Hajj is the only official gateway to book your Hajj journey for 126 countries, including the United Kingdom, United States, Canada, and Europe as well. There's 10 service providers, 6 different package categories. That's standard, premium, luxury, and they come in shifting and non-shifting. The e-wallet is a new feature this year, which allows you to top up your e-wallet in readiness to make that payment for the packages. And the official website is hajj.nusuk.sa. Do be careful when you're out there, and especially with WhatsApp and social media, that you're aware that you may be lured in or enticed to buy a package outside of the Nusuk system. And we strongly advise you against that because you will lose your money. There is no guarantee of them providing you a particular service. The only official way to get to Hajj, if you're part of the 126 countries, is through Nusuk official website. If you're dual national, that's a different story. You can go through your other passport of origin, but that's a topic we're not covering today. But if you do need any help or advice, do contact us after the webinar, and I'm sure we'll be able to help you, inshallah. So the 10 steps of booking a Hajj package. As I mentioned at the beginning, many of you have already navigated through the registration process, have also activated your e-wallets. But in essence, most of you now will be at the phase 7 to browse the package in readiness to book the package when they do go live in a couple of weeks. We've been told there's a 2-week window where you'll be given a chance to browse packages. Now, what you're seeing at the moment on Nusuk, on the website, when you log in, are just some of the packages. There are loads of other packages coming on board as well. So do be patient, and I'll talk you through some of the terminology and the pricing and how that will affect the overall pricing that you'll end up paying at the end as well. So Hajj packages. Here is a sample package. It's a 26-day package that we decided to model this presentation on. And this comes with 8 days in Medina, 8 days in Mecca, and 10 days shifting, or 10 days residential in Zone D. So many of you are asking, what does all this mean? Well, in essence, you'll be flying out on the 26th of May and going to Medina first. You'll stay there for 8 days. And then move on to Mecca for another 8 days. On the 4th of Zulhijjah, so the dates here in red are Islamic dates. On the 4th of Zulhijjah, you'll then move into the shifting component or the residential component of that package. Usually in Azizia is another district outside of Haram, approximately 8 to 10 kilometers away, 2.5, 3 hours of walking time. And you'll stay there up until the duration of when Hajj starts, which is the 8th of Zulhijjah until the 12th or the 13th if you decided to do the extra day, and then move back into the residential apartment and then return back home. So this is a shifting package example that we're showing here. There are over hundreds of different packages, so we won't be able to go through every single one in the queries tonight. But what I wanted to demonstrate is that whatever packages they are, you'll be able to align that with the Islamic dates and the Gregorian dates as well. So you know when you're entering, where you're moving, if you're moving, and if there is a non-shifting package, which is that you get Makkah and Medina, or Medina and Makkah, then you know at which duration you'll be at the cities, inshallah. One of the other things that you do need to look out for is the departure airports within that package. So at the moment, we're seeing sample packages or teasers on the websites, but you do need to check which package suits you and the departure airports, and then which camps you're assigned to as well. Is it Al Maisim camp or is it the Majr al-Qabs camp? Majr al-Qabs is within few 100 meters within distance of the Jamarat, where you pelt the shaitan. Maisim camp is about 4 kilometers away. It's about an hour's walk. So bear that in mind when you are looking at the packages. So the difference between shifting and non-shifting. With the non-shifting packages, it's a high level of comfort. In essence, you're staying in the close proximity of Haram, of Masjid al-Haram. For example, the clock towers, or just behind there you have Jabal Omar. These are the more new buildings, high level of comforts, and within walking distances to Masjid al-Haram as well. And that accommodation will be your accommodation for the duration of your stay in Makkah. So the 5 days of Hajj that you go to Mina, Muzdalifah, Arafah, in Mashair, that you spend in the camp cities, you will have access to your hotel in Makkah. However, as I mentioned, the distances between Azizia and the Mashair back to Makkah is about 2.5, 3 hours worth of walking. It's not easy commute. What is beneficial is on the days of Tashriq, or the day you come to do Tawaf Ziyarah, Tawaf Ifada, you have access to your building. You can actually rest, have a bit of a respite before you head back to Mina as well. So these are pros and cons that you need to consider in terms of the package as well. It does come at a cost, mind you. So these hotels, they are premium hotels. They will come at a cost. Compared to that, we have shifting packages. So these are a little bit more cost effective. You're housed in zone C and D, and I'll go through that as well. So zone C is the Greater Makkah, zone D is Azizia. So you housed more closer to the tent city in Mina. So when you do stay in Mina for the 5 days of Hajj, when you come to do the Jamarat, when you come to Pal the Shaitan, it's easy for you to come to your accommodation hotel or a residential tower, have a freshen up, have a bite to eat, maybe have a kip, and then head back to Mina and stay the night there. So you have your pros and cons, and usually you'll have a walking distance of maybe half an hour max to get to your apartment in Azizia or your residential building. As I mentioned, it is cost effective, but the only downside or an upside, you could even think of it like that, is that the housing is based on quads, quints, or more. Usually for those coming from the UK, the sharing setup is usually quints or 5 sharing. For slightly more better options, you may get 4 sharing. So if you booked a double for you and your missus to stay in Makkah and Medina, but your shifting element is a zizia or a residential tower, you will be split male-female and housed accordingly. So we've been checking some packages on Nusuk. You have some that are quad, some that are quint. So you do need to check the finer prints as well. So although you're buying a double package or a triple package, it's fine when, as it comes to Makkah and Medina, you have your room and you have your double or triple sharing. But when it comes to a zizia, when it comes to that shifting element, you will be segregated male-female, and you could be 4 or 5 in a room. So do look at the small print in there. Ultimately, if you look at the Nusuk website, you're actually purchasing a bed, not a particular room. Just the way that the numbers of Hajj are huge, the accommodation and housing for pilgrims, not just from the UK, from right across the world, male, female, needs to balance out so that everybody is accommodated in that respect. And here's a little bit more in detail. So when you buy a double room or double sharing, it's actually a bed in a shared double room. If you're buying a triple package, it's a bed in a triple room. If you're buying a quadruple, it's a bed in a quadruple room. And note right at the end, a shifting package, shared accommodation can be 4, 5, or 6 persons per room, where the room type that you book does not apply. I've given you the worst case, 5 and 6. Majority will be around 4, maybe 5 at a stretch. Transportation, something to look out for, either flights direct or indirect, and which departure airports the flight's flying from. All of this will impact your price ultimately. So if you are going to go for a package, at the moment there's a lot of packages. In fact, all the packages are showing excluding flights. This is just so that they can balance out and work out the pricing and finalize it in time for when you come to book the packages. And unlike traditional flights, Hajj prices will differ, and you can't go ahead and buy your own package and your package and then buy your own flight. It won't work like that. You have to buy it through the Nusuk platform. Why? There's some advantages in the sense that there will be group purchases for that particular flight or that particular package. And although you may have an option within Nusuk to select your own preferred flights, our advice is that you try and stick to the itineraries as much as possible so that it will help you meet and greet with your guide before departure at the airport, and you'll have your guide assistance all the way through. If you start doing your or requesting individual flights, you are going to be left on your own devices to navigate not just the UK airports, which might be the easy part, but when you get to the other side, Jeddah, Medina, etc., you're on your own. Although your package provider, your Hajj service provider will have teams there to assist you, you're on your own. And sometimes that could be a very daunting experience, especially for those who are going first time for such a big experience and for a big journey like Hajj. Umrah is not so bad. When it comes to Hajj, you want to move as a group. And it's easier for the groups as well. And you build that bondship throughout. So you have the option in terms of the flights. One thing to be extremely careful about on these packages online is that these packages are available to any one of the 126 countries to book. However, you need to make sure that whichever provider you go with, that you do have an English or a British Hajj guide attached to that particular package, because it's not very easy to understand or know from just looking at these packages which package will have a British or an English-speaking guide, for example. You may see a package catered for, say, our European brothers and sisters and think, wow, that suits me, the package is brilliant, but then you'll have a hassle in terms of understanding who is your guide. They could be speaking Italian, German as their first or second language, and Arabic. And if you don't speak these languages, you're going to struggle. So bear that in mind. Also understand that if you end up booking one of these packages because of costings or whatever reason, then it's up to you to make your way to Germany or wherever that destination is to fly out to Hajj as well. So really look at the whole itineraries as well. When you're talking to your service provider, they'll be able to guide you more. Internal transfers is another thing that you need to look out for. Most of these packages are all inclusive packages, so they'll have the transfers from the airport to Makkah or airport to Medina. In some cases, it may be internal flights that take you from Jeddah to Medina. They could also utilize the high-speed Haramain rail as well. So again, have a look at the finer details in the packages before you compare packages, and also go ahead to book them as well. Hajj services. So as I mentioned, there's two camps. One is Maisim camp, which is located around 4 kilometers away from Jamarat. And then you have the Majal Qabs camp. In fact, all camps will have air conditioning units in there, so there's nothing there for you to worry about. However, do check the meals that are going to be prepared and served to you during the 5 days of Hajj. Are they half board? Are they full board? Majority do come with full board, but again, look at the packages. And this is again a differentiating factor on the pricing as well, on what your services you get. So it's not all about price, it's about service as well. And having, alhamdulillah, been to Hajj as a Hajj guide over the last decade or more, it's come to our understanding that, although we may compromise now when we come to book a package, when it comes to the actual services in Mina, in Muzdalifah, people do complain and they will say, well, I wish I paid extra, or they'll assume X, Y, and Z is provided. But please, please, please do check what you're paying for and what you'll get delivered there as well. In terms of amenities, whoever went to Hajj last year had a 5-star or beyond experience. The whole of Mina, especially the Maisim camp that we were housed in, had a complete remakeover. It hadn't had its update for over a decade or more, but it was really a very, very good experience for us being out there. So in terms of amenities, you have shower facilities, you have European toilets, you have the Asian subcontinent, them type of toilets as well. And they do have facilities for those that have disability or may need a wheelchair, access to get into the cubicles, the bathroom areas as well in Mina. Muzdalifah, obviously, that's the night under the stars, so there's limited amenities out there, but you do have toilets, facilities, and similarly in Arafat, which is only a day that you spend out there as well. When it comes to sleeping arrangements, again, check for what kind of facilities that they're offering. Most will offer sofa beds, which will double up, as the name suggests, as a sofa and a bed. But also, does it come with a sleeping bag, which may be needed in Muzdalifah, for example? They may give you additional blankets that you could use in Mina and take it across to Muzdalifah or Arafah as well. So all of these little things, you do need to check what is available. The last thing you want to be doing is packing a load of stuff that you take there only to be told that, oh, they're providing it. So utilize these little things to research whilst these packages are out. Majal Qabs, as you can see, there's some residential towers there in Mina. These are the closest camps to Jamarat. So similar to the services provided in Maisim, you'll get all of that as well. Depending on packages, they may upgrade certain meals, but generally speaking, they offer a little bit more better comfort and close proximity, as it mentions there, between 307 meters to the Jamarat Bridge. Moving on, my favorite part, Hajj guides. Well, I might be surprised to see that photo. I sneakily took one of you when you were presenting the Tarbiyah during Mina. So the guidance roles are very simple. This is something that we do on a regular basis. But in essence, guides are there to provide support and guidance to you and streamline, in effect, the communications between the pilgrims and the service providers. There's a lot of information that is being sent out, and it's up to us as guides or from different service providers to disseminate that into the communities so that people have a better understanding of what is available and the services that are going to be on offer. We are here to train and educate you on your Hajj journey, and that could be spiritual upliftment, practical health and safety, anything that will enhance and really enrich your pilgrimage experience. Provide logistical support, so we'll work with ground services to make sure that all your transfers, your flights, your all basically overseeing your Hajj service as your personal concierge almost. And in terms of grouping pilgrims, as we covered in this in our previous webinar, once you have booked, it's up to then the Hajj guides that's assigned to you to start to really get your rooms ready. So if you're a family of 4, you've got specific preferences, you've requested particular services, we'll start to really get in touch with the with yourselves and then really help you curate that Hajj package that you asked for or you've purchased, and relay that back to the Saudi providers as well to make sure that they understand their groupings, etc. As I mentioned, that the beds are allocated on a bed per person and not specifically a room. If you're a couple, we'll group you as a couple and not split you up male, female, for example. If you are a family of 3 or 4, we'll try and keep the families together best as possible. On the odd occasion, it's not possible, we'll communicate that back with you and work with you to give you a better solution or a proposal that works. But 99.99% of the time, alhamdulillah, everybody's grouped and housed accordingly. And one of the most important things is, amongst not just guides, but generally pilgrims as well, is promote unity and harmony. In the state of Ihram, there are lots of prohibitions. One is, you can't quarrel, you can't fight, all the rest of it. It's very easy to fall into that trap of shaitan, knowing that you're going to be forgiven of all your sins, to then just ruin everything by having an argument, or the smallest of things will just trigger something. Come and talk to the guides. They're there to console, they're there to sort out these issues. And if there are any issues, we'll work together and resolve. But the best thing that I can give you in terms of the advice is that please exercise patience. We're exercising that now. Nusuk is training us up. The whole booking process is training us up. There's a lot more to come beyond this as well. So get in the habit. Whatever's written is going to happen. Have faith in Allah Almighty, and inshallah, the fruits of that reward will be immense, inshallah. Following on from the roles of the guides, as we have been doing, providing support to answers to queries, providing registration support. So if you are still struggling, if your profile hasn't been verified, if you've got issues, do contact us. We do have a channel of communication with Nusuk. We'll try and escalate it and push that as much as possible to try and get that resolved. There's thousands of people that are registered on the system, and inshallah, everyone will be verified in time for booking a package as well. We're here to educate you, empower you. This is what we've been doing. CBH UK has been established since 2006 on that basis to give you the power. Empower you in terms of your religious knowledge, your spiritual knowledge, travel, health, anything that will make your journey the best possible journey that you'll experience. And one of the things that we are doing is obviously raising awareness of fraudulent activities within the sector. There will be dubious, unscrupulous agents trying to lure you in. Do be careful. Nusuk is the only official platform to book Hajj for this year. And on that note, I want to proudly announce that Hajj Guides, an initiative of CBH UK, our guides, inshallah, will be working with Itra Al-Khair for this Hajj season. And just so you know, if you are looking on Nusuk, to be aware that packages 1 to 12, Itra Al-Khair packages 1 to 12 and 57 will all have British Hajj Guides attached to them. Inshallah, myself, our brother Abdul, Akbar, Shaykh Yunus, and our wider team of imams, ulamas, and guides will be with Itra this year. But that doesn't stop there. We'll go above and beyond. Although we're going to be with Itra Al-Khair, we're here to support all Hajjis, regardless of who you end up booking with in the end. We're here to get you through that final hurdle as well, inshallah. May Allah guide us success. May Allah invite us all as well. That concludes my presentation. I hope I've done okay with time. Brother Abdul Akbar, over to you.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Rashid. MashaAllah, what an amazing presentation. Lots of detail covered there. listeners and viewers. And for those of you who joined us during the presentation, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the CBH UK Hajj 2024 presentation. We're live right now across the UK and people tuning in from all over Europe as well. So welcome to all of you. And we have hundreds of people on this live webinar right now. And for those of you wondering about the information that we shared, and there's lots of it, we are recording this webinar as well. And we'll be sharing the recording after the session as well, inshallah. But with that, I'd like to go straight to all the questions. I think it's 83 plus questions right now. So I'd like to put Shaykh Yunus and Rashid Mogradia on the spot now with a few questions. And brothers, if we can go as fast as possible with those questions, and where there's a repeat question, we'll skip over it. So the first question, so I'm going to go in chronological order. So in order of which the question came in, just to be as fair as possible. So the first question is from Said Hikol, who's asking, are 10-day packages available?
They may well be. Just need to check on Nusuk. Every provider will have their own different packages. ITRA, I believe, have a shorter package. I think it's 13 days, perhaps.
I think there's one, Rashid, I think there's one which is which will be around 10 days annual leave.
Okay.
There's another one which is about 12 days annual leave, and there's another one which is about 14 days annual leave. When I talk about, I've tried to work them out to look at annual leave, meaning Monday to Friday. So there's at least one with the 10-day, there's one with the 12-day, and there's one with the 14-day. But as the packages come out, you'll be able to see which ones they are.
Thank you for that. Next question is, are all the packages available presently visible in the Nusuk Hajj portal?
No, they're not. They're being updated. So there's a lot of packages that are yet to come.
Okay, thank you for that. And another question is on the room configuration, brothers. And somebody's asking, is this where I select the bed for myself only or for the whole family linked to my profile? He's saying that he's traveling as a couple. So does he select 2 beds in Mecca and 2 beds in Medina?
Okay, I'm just going to quickly share a sample package that I've got online there. Ithral Care 05. As you can see, it's got 8 nights Mecca, 10 nights Mecca, Jabri Towers, which is a residential, and perhaps 8 days in Medina. Now you've got the room configuration there, quad, triple, double. Price is starting from 35,989 riyals. That's a starting point for the prices. These prices are for the quads. When you come to booking the rooms, the prices for triple and double will become available and will include prices for the flights as well. So expect the price to be a little bit higher than what it is. Majority of these packages are showing prices for quads at the moment. But again, you need to go into the individual package to interrogate what is available. This particular package has quad, triple, and double. Others may just have triple or quad. They may just have double. So you need to go through individual. We will be covering a specific one on Ithra or Care later on in the week. And we'll send everybody an invite so we can go through the 13 packages that are available for the UK market in detail as well.
Just to answer your question, Abdul Akbar, if the person chooses the double, then it will be for the couple. If they choose the triple, then what will happen is that the male will be put in a male room with 2 other males, and the female will be put with the females with 2 other females. That's what usually happens. Okay, so similar with the quad. If you choose a quad, then you will be, the male will be put with 3 other males, and the female will be put with 3 other females.
And just to clarify that as well, thank you for that, Shaykh Yunus. Just to clarify that, so Rashid, I think you mentioned in your presentation that it might be possible for the pilgrims to speak to their tour operators, their Hajj package providers, in order to change that configuration and keep family members together. Is that correct?
It is, but again, it will be done on an individual basis. As Shaykh Yunus mentioned, because of the ratio of male to females, can be more or less. It could be a split. However, as guides, we'll do our best to try and keep families together.
That's very good advice, and I think it's important for people to just keep in mind that it might not be possible, but it's definitely going to happen on the best effort basis, is what I'm hearing. Thank you for that. Next question, Rashid, you mentioned that the package is visible, and indeed on the screenshot you just showed, your live screenshot, it showed the package price excluding flights. Shaheen is asking, I thought it was an all-inclusive package. So you said something about the prices being finalized for flights still.
Yeah, so they are all-inclusive packages, so they will have that flight option. The reason why it's showing excluding flights at the moment is when it goes live, you'll have an option to either select the flight that comes with a package or select your own flight. So that will adjust the end price, and hence why they've excluded that out. When it comes to booking the packages when they go live for payment, you'll have an option to see the final price, including the flight, and then another option which will show the change. So you have the group flights and then you have the individual request.
Thank you for that. Somebody anonymous is asking a good question, and because there may be some ambiguity about this. So again, they're not seeing flights attached to the package, but you've answered that question already. But they're asking, will there be any transport services provided by the package provider, or do they have to book their own transport, for example, from the airport to the hotel?
No, internal transfers are included. So regardless of whether you arrive on your own or part of the group, they'll make sure that you have the transportation to the hotel.
Okay, and Shaheen's also asking, how do you identify double, triple, quad rooms? It's not explicitly mentioned, but I think in the screen share you just showed, Rashid, it does actually show that right now.
It does for now. Let me just quickly bring that screen up. It does show you there, but when you come to actually purchase it, you'll have an option. So this particular package has an option for quad, triple, and double. You'll have a price attached to that particular package for double, triple, or the quad as well. Remember, this is a shifting package. So you'll be housed in Jabri Towers. And at that point, regardless of whether you have a double or a triple or a quad, you're going to be housed as maybe 4 or 5 in that room. So you'll get that split at that point. So if it's a double, Makkah, Medina is fine as a family, as a couple. When you get to Jabri Towers, it's going to be a split in the for sure in terms of the gender and the numbers as well.
Thank you for that. And just to clarify, Rashid Bhai, I want to be really clear about this. So at the moment in the Nusuk Hajj portal, you can actually view the packages, but you can't actually book the packages. I noticed that on your screen, it said you can mark them as preferred. So you can kind of create a short list at the moment, but you can't go ahead and book. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So this is actually, I'm actually logged in to my profile. So we can give you a live rundown. So at the moment, what you're seeing packages, there's 228 packages there, and we expect that number to go up quite a bit. If I just look at Ithra Care who we're with, they've got all these packages here. Now, for example, here, 19,990, for example, that's not a UK package as such, all right? When you interrogate that further, you can start to really see where that package is going to be flying out from, and it'll have the flights attached to it. So you do need to really interrogate that. What we're saying is, if you're going with Ithra, and we know it's Ithra's packages, 1 to 12 and 57 are the ones that are flying out from the UK. So concentrate on them. But you need to go through there's 10 different providers out there. And you need to do what's best for you. It's not just about the price, it's about the service and whatever else is attached to it as well.
So how do I just, Rashid, just to clarify there, let's just say Ithra Al Khair that you're mentioning. If I want to find package 57, just choosing the random package that you mentioned, how do I find that? It's probably the numbers attached. I can see numbers attached to the tour operator, right? The package provider.
There's
There
57.
Okay.
Build that down. So 57 is a UK package or catering for the UK market. However, it doesn't stop anybody from the United States or Italy or Germany or anyone else for that matter booking that. So the system designed to allow families from anywhere in the world to perform Hajj together, provided they're within 126 countries. Sadly, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, who we have, family members, won't be able to be part of this particular setup, just because their way of going to Hajj and booking Hajj is slightly different. But for example, here, we've had a look at that. 2nd of June is flying out to the 25th. So 23-day package. 18 nights in Mecca, 5 nights in Medina. Okay, and then these are the residency as well.
Okay, thank you for that.
There's a typo there, by the way. It's Zone D, which is near Jamarat, but Al Jabri Towers is the residential building. But these are the things that you need to be looking out for. Another quick one, whilst we're on this particular package, do have a look at the cancellation policy on these packages as well. Most of them will be the same, but do interrogate that as well. Because at a certain point, certainly after the 30th of March, there's absolutely no refunds. And then you have a very small window from the minute you book to getting refunds if you want to cancel, for example. So do look at these terms and conditions. There's also that 1.5% banking services fee that will be deducted from your wallet if you decide to withdraw any funds.
Really important. Thank you for sharing that. So small print is very important. Just like any large transaction, it's very important to read that small print. Thank you so much for that. Let me go to the next question that we have on the webinar, which is from Javed. He's asking, if I am 3 persons for Azizia, should I select quad as we will be split anyway? So that they're 1 male and 2 females traveling. And will they all be in the same room in Azizia?
Do you want to take this one, Shaykh?
So 3 people are traveling, and he's asking specifically for Azizia, should he select quad because he's expecting them to be split anyway in Azizia? And it's
Yeah,
one
so it depends. So it depends what package you're choosing overall. So if you feel that you're choosing a package where you'll never be with anybody as a double or a triple, then choose quad. And then whether you as a family will be together, that will be decided by when you get there or just before. You can inform them to say, please, can we as a family be booked in the same room?
Thank you for that. Next question, again from Javed. Lots of good questions coming from the same people, mashallah. Is can we get a list of UK partners for each of the service providers? Really hard finding information on providers other than Al Bayt and a few that you mentioned, Rashid Bhai. So is there a list of UK's, the 10 that you mentioned, is there a list somewhere?
We've not seen the list from the other providers, so it's very difficult. However, for ITHRA, we can provide that list of the UK partners. But just to come back on that note about the booking a 3 package, a triple, if you are 3 people, then book a 3 and not a quad, just because if there is an issue with housing and bed availability, technically the service provider can put a 4th person in that room because you booked a 4th. So we had this issue last year with a family who booked a quad room. There were 3 of them. We had to split the female and the males of that family up because technically they were taking up a spare bed, which they hadn't paid for. So do be careful on that.
Thank you for that. We're going to keep going, everyone who's tuned in to this live webinar for a few more minutes after the hour, just because there's so many questions and we want to make sure that we can answer as many as possible, inshallah. So another question from an anonymous attendee saying about the e-wallet. So this is a new process that's being rolled out this year, the e-wallet, and they're asking, does the e-wallet need to have the cost of the package within it before purchasing a package, or can this be topped up after? How does the payment side of things work?
You need to have it topped up and ready. And I would also say that if you're looking at, see, majority of the ITHRA packages, and I can only speak for ITHRA, are all direct flights. So these direct flights could be anything between £1,500 and £2,000 extra if you look at the pricing there. So do allow maybe £2,000 for the flight contingency. I'm not saying it's going to be that price, but just to allow 2,000 just to get you over that, or make sure your e-wallet is topped up to that amount. So yeah, have it topped up and ready. And remember, the demand's really high. Supply is not as much as it used to be. You know, there's been a significant quota reduction, not just for the UK, just worldwide. So demand's huge. You know, don't if you've got the funds, Bismillah, top it up, be ready for when they go live.
And just Rashid, just to clarify that as well, because if you, let's say you've over topped up, will you be able to get the excess that you've topped up that's remaining back?
Absolutely, you'll be able to withdraw it. Obviously, you've got that 1.5% bank fee or service fee that will be charged. They are looking at ways in which you could potentially use the funds in Saudi, for example, a form of debit card or kind of debit payments for products and services out there. We wait to see, but yeah,
Okay.
you'll be able to learn that.
Thank you so much. Another question from Majid asking, are there any Zone A or Majorul Hubs non-shifting packages, including flights? If there are, how much do they cost? So a bit of a broad question there. Just a general question around packages and the details of the packages. Rashid, what I'm hearing from you already is that everyone just needs to go into the Nusuk Hajj portal and browse and have a look at the detail themselves and try to identify which of the packages are UK specific, like the ones that you mentioned for the providers that we're with. Is that right?
Exactly. And also note that certain factors will impact price. So having a camp close to Jamanat, for example, Mujal Cups, will have a price premium because it can only house a very small number of pilgrims. So you pay a premium for that, for that luxury of staying close to Jamanat and not having to walk an hour from the European camps, for example. Direct flights, indirect flights, shifting, non-shifting, all of these will impact the cost of that particular package. What we're trying to do today is give you a general, broader outline of how these packages are structured for you to then make a decision as to which package to go with. Other elements that you need to look at is whether Hadi or Qurbani is included, your Hajj Qurbani. Some packages will include it, others won't. So SIM cards, for example, is another one. So there's other ways in which prices can impact the cost of the package as well.
Thank you for that. Next question from Nabil is asking, and this is a interesting one, and I think everyone's going to have to make their own decision on this one, but I'll post it to your brothers anyway, which is which Hajj provider, in your view, has the most experience in assisting Hajjaj from the UK?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I just lost the connection there.
Of course, yeah. Which Hajj provider, in your view, has the most experience in assisting Hajjaj from the UK?
Listen, this year, Nusuk are very strict. All Hajj guides have to go through a vetting process, a minimum qualification process, and they're not going to be on that list if they haven't got the qualification. So I say all of us, alhamdulillah, all guides, regardless of which one you go with, are passionate about serving the Hujjaj. Ultimately, we are here as guides. The service providers will provide that service on the ground in Saudi Arabia, which we have no control over. But with them, knowing that they have the competency to deliver, inshallah.
Thank you for that. And keep the good questions coming, everyone. We're going to try to answer a few more we can, inshallah. Next question from an anonymous attendee saying, will there be a period of time between the packages being available to view with prices and when we are able to select and pay for a package? If so, what is that time period? So we're in that time period right now, I guess, Rashid Bhai.
Yeah, I think you're looking at about 2 weeks is a figure that we've heard. So whether it was 2 weeks from last night or 2 weeks from today, but allow 2 weeks.
Thank you for that. And we're going to go to a question on the COVID vaccine and asking if it is compulsory or if it's optional. Is there any clarity on that topic?
Rashid mentioned in the webinar that at the moment they're saying it's compulsory, but we are going to try and get clarity and see whether it's optional and make it optional, because that would be the better system.
Absolutely. And what we will also do, just for that questioner as well, and for everybody on the webinar and everybody watching the recording, is we will communicate any expectation that there is around the vaccine to you on the appropriate channel. So stay tuned to cbhuk.org. That's the website for the organization, obviously representing British Hajj in the UK. And make sure that you stay tuned to our communications. And also there's a WhatsApp group as well that we have which you can join from that website as well, FYI. Okay, moving forward, next question is, can you make payment with multiple credit cards using the e-wallet? So imagine you have one e-wallet, as we know, we have one e-wallet, but can I top up using different sources of payment?
Yes, you can, but try and avoid it just to keep your house in order. For example, if you are the lead account or the lead family member administering the account, and you then start using other um, bank cards, banks, etc., to top up your e-wallet, it could cause issues later on in terms of refunds if it comes to that, or withdrawals. So we've had a few instances where the husband has set up the Nusuk account and used the wife account to top up the bank, or use the bank to top up the e-wallet. It's now the case where the husband's account is now tagged with the wife's bank details. And, although the funds have transferred over, it could cause problems if it comes to the refund element, which was the case last year for some people. So keep your house in order, clean as possible. Try and use one account if possible. But yes, you can use multiple sources.
Thank you for that. And I think there's lots of questions coming in about the flights. And obviously, people have a certain budget in mind. And therefore, if they're unable to see the flights right now, the question is there a rough idea of the price for the flights? I mean, Rashid, you gave a range earlier.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it depends on the carrier, if it's direct, indirect. Seasonality is going to be a big part in this as well. And Hajj flights historically have been at a premium anyway. You can't just book any flights. They're very much regulated. But estimate anything around £1,500 to £2,000, yeah, for direct, indirect. You'll be on the safe side for now. Don't quote me on that, but that'll be enough to have you topped up, I guess.
Okay, thank you for that. Faiza, I think we've answered your question around how are the groups formulated. So the answer to that, from my understanding, is that you'll go ahead and select your package, and then you'll work with your Hajj guide from your specific package provider in order to ensure that the group that you want formulated can be done, and it will happen on a best effort basis from your package provider. Moving forward, when will we be able to purchase our preferred packages? So we've answered that question as well. And we reckon there's going to be a 2-week window between now, probably, and where you'll have the opportunity to actually complete the transaction and purchase the package. And Rashid, right, just to make sure we've got this one, and Sheikh Yunus as well, you have to book the flights for Nusuk, right? You cannot book the package without flights in Nusuk and then get the flights yourself separately.
Exactly. It's an all-inclusive system this year. And whereas you will have your group flights as part of your package, there is an option and a built-in GDS, which is the global delivery of flights, this whole system integrated into Nusuk this year. So you can, if, for example, you have family members coming from the United States or Europe, for example, and you want to go on a particular package, you can all align up to travel together, perhaps. But as I mentioned earlier, try and avoid that as much as possible and go with the group bookings just for ease and for logistical purposes.
Okay, thank you for that. Next question from another anonymous attendee saying, we have configured our package online, including rooms and flights. What does that mean? Will we be able to purchase those exact specifications at the time of purchasing? Are those specifications reserved for us currently so that others cannot book the same?
It's difficult at the moment because we're still navigating how the system's reacting to all of this. But at the moment, it seems as though you can select your preferred packages. And then when it comes to the payment, it'll start deducting that off the country quota and so on and so forth. So for now, just select and be ready.
Yeah, and I think it will be, it sounds like, Rashid Bhai and Sheikh Yunus, that it will be on a first come, first serve. So in other words, whoever can complete the transaction in terms of paying for the package first will get that package reserved and finalized first.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you for that. Next question from Fatima. She's asking, the majority of packages do not include ziyarah in Mecca and Medina. How can we arrange this ourselves and at what cost?
So the ziyarah is not included in the packages on Nusuk. However, when we get there, then it depends on which Hajj provider you are with and which Hajj guide you are with. And usually what happens is there will be a ziyarah offered to the group, either through the Hajj provider and the Hajj guide, or last year we had one of the hotels that we were staying in. They had a booking system where they were providing the ziyarah. You pay them £20 or £15, or I can't remember how much it was, but per person, and then they would take you for ziyarah. We did our own ziyarah as a Hajj guide, and I took a group. So it just depends. Don't worry about that too much. Inshallah, when you're there, somebody will take you on a ziyarah.
Absolutely. And I think with the 23-day packages, you definitely want to invoke that and benefit from the opportunity of being there as well while you've got the time. MashaAllah. Thank you for that question and also for those answers. Let me go to the next question, which is somebody is trying to do a custom flight, but they get stuck on the booking and it says that it's currently being processed on the flight part and it doesn't allow me to go further, but that's to be expected, right, Rashid Bhai, because the flights have not yet been released. Is that correct?
That's true. And also, you can't book a package right now. It's just a browsing phase. So we're learning, the system's learning, but it'll be ready in time for you to book.
Okay. Thank you for that. And next question is, will there be a notification prior to the packages being available to be actually booked? And how will we know?
We hope so. If not, if you subscribe to our alerts, WhatsApp, Telegram, email, then you'll get the alerts anyway. Our team are on it. And if you haven't, you can go to cbhuk.org/Hajj 2024. There's a wealth of resources there, including links to our various social media. And you can join up for these alerts as well. And if you want to join us and our team of guides, for Hajj as well, there's an invitation to just register as well, and you'll get more details followed up, inshallah.
And you have to have done Hajj before in order to become a guide, just to be clear as well. So complete your own Hajj first before helping others, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Okay, next question. And we're going to go on for a few more minutes, everyone. So for those of you tuned in, still we've got a few hundred people still tuned in live in our webinars. Thanks for joining us. And of course, this experience is going to be amazing. And we want to make sure that it's just as smooth as possible for everybody. And we'll be doing lots of these webinars as we go closer to the days of Hajj. And we'll also be doing a live training as well with none other than Shaykh Yunus, myself, and Rashid, and other volunteers from CBH UK as we get close to the days of Hajj. So stay tuned for all the communications on that. For everyone who's joined the webinar today, we're going to be sending out the recording, and we're also going to be sending out the links to those WhatsApp groups and those Telegram groups as well that Rashid mentioned. So don't worry if you haven't got those at the moment. We'll be sending you those links. All right, a few more questions to go. There's over 200 open questions at the moment, brothers, and I don't think we can answer every single one, but what we will do is aggregate all the unique questions and make sure we can add them to our FAQs on the actual website as well on cbhuk.org. Just a few more to go though. So let's go with Pfizer saying, if a woman is going for Hajj on her own without a mahram, what does she need to consider in choosing a package and a group? So Sheikh, let me throw that one over to you first of all.
Well, I think it would be good for her to make sure that there's quite a few women with her. So I think, you see, it's going to be hit and miss. But if she's got somebody that she knows who's going with a couple or another family that's going, so she's got some kind of people that she knows would be good, so that she goes in that same group. And then hopefully there she'll be looked after by those individuals. And then there will be a few other sisters that she'll meet there as well. So at least go in a group that's where she knows that she knows somebody in that group. That would be my advice.
Great advice, Rashid. Anything from yourself?
I'm just screening the questions, and a lot of it's coming about Gurbani, whether that's included or not. Again, that's an additional service. Yeah, just on that point about the sister, most certainly speak to the groups. They will have ways in which they can accommodate. I know Nusuk and the ministry are doing their utmost to try and make Hajj accessible to all Muslims all around the world. And inshallah, they'll do the same here as well.
Yeah, and then you won't be the only solo female doing Hajj as well. There'll be many of you, mashallah, and I'm sure you'll find other women as well that are in the same situation as you, Sister Faiza. So inshallah, but do your due diligence, speak to the package providers and make sure that they do have groups of women and maybe they can put groups together as well, which I'm sure they'll endeavor to do when you speak to them. Thank you, brothers, for that. Then we go to the next question. We're going to go on for another 14 minutes, inshallah. So stay with us if you'd like to answer and hear more questions. So Shaheen is asking, from the experience of Hajj in the last few years, are there any service providers that are recommended? So I think we've answered that one. And as Rashid mentioned, that every single Hajj guide and provider has been vetted. So, you know, we can expect a really good service. And that's one of the benefits of the centralized system now, which is that you don't have rogue providers out there that are just random. You actually have vetted providers and vetted guides that know what they're talking about and know the planning very well. So I hope that answers that question. But brothers, feel free to correct me if I've said anything incorrect. Let's go to Nafisa about the COVID vaccine. So again, on the COVID vaccine, we're going to seek clarity on that. And as Sheikh Yunus mentioned, our preference is that we don't have to have the requirement of a COVID vaccine, but we're going to work with the authorities, and we are working with the authorities in the background to state that from the British Pilgrim side. Moving forward, Rashid Bhai, it's a question for you, which is, do you know what the UK quota is this year? You mentioned the quotas have been reduced since last year. Do we have any indication?
It's the same as last year, 3,649, 3,649 is the official figure. However, we do expect to get a little bit more when the system comes to an end and there's a redistribution of those quotas from the other 126 countries that aren't used to come back into the pool. So I wouldn't worry at this stage. And ultimately, remember this, quota or no quota, this invitation is from Allah Almighty. This is just a process of us getting there. So if your labbaik is written, we can only try as humans, and ultimately the invitation is from the Almighty. So stay firm in that intent. Why are you going for Hajj and who's inviting you? And the system and the process will allow you, inshallah, to fulfill that obligation, inshallah, this year.
Thank you for that. Moving on to the next question from Aminul, asking, if Qurbani is not included in the package, is there another way of arranging it?
Absolutely. And we'll be providing more details later on once the packages have gone live. And this is a service that we worked with a number of providers on the ground in Saudi. There's the government and also private institutions now established in Saudi Arabia that do that. So we'll put you in touch with the different providers for you to arrange that as well.
Thank you for that. Next question is, somebody has transferred a large sum of money already into their e-wallet, and they're concerned that if they don't manage to get a package, how and when would the refund take place?
I'm not entertaining a negative question. You are going to get it, inshallah. If you don't, we'll worry about it later. There will be a refund button that will come up in the end, or a withdrawal button. But for now, let's stay positive. Inshallah, everyone's going to get that package.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair for that. Another question asking, I'm intending to go on Hajj with my wife this year. However, my wife is yet to come to the UK mid-March with a spouse visa. I will then need to collect the VRP card, which is the card that you get when you bring your spouse over for work purposes, and then get this approved. Will there still be a chance for me to select a package in time? So a bit of a time-bound question there.
Inshallah. But don't give up hope, go through the process. If it's to be, it'll be. We've had people who are against the odds, when everything's sold out, manage to get a package and be out there. And why did that happen? Because there was cancellation last minute, there was redistribution, quotas came into the system as well. So don't give up hope is what we're saying.
Thank you for that. A slight immigration question there from a Nigerian brother who's in the UK on a Nigerian passport. and would like to go on Hajj this year if possible, but is not very sure how to go on Hajj from the UK with a Nigerian passport. Any advice for him?
If he holds a BRP or British residence permit, then he can travel from the UK. Otherwise, he needs to go through the Nigerian quota. In fact, Nigeria themselves will be with ITRA. So the Nigerian community, the African Horn, as I say, South Africa, are all serviced by ITRA, although not in the same camps. We'll be in European camps. Yeah, so BRP is what he needs to check.
Thank you for that.
Once you get in touch with us, we're happy to assist offline, maybe tomorrow, inshallah.
So for the Nigerian or brother that's asked that question, reach out to us offline as well and we can help. Jazakallah. Another question asking, for some of the Ithra al-Khair shifting packages, example package 10, Nusuk allows us to purchase beds in a double room. To confirm, does this mean we can potentially share a room with our spouses in a shifting package rather than be put into a quad room with other people?
We'll do our best. As I mentioned, 99.99%, you'll get that desired room. We had, in fact, it was my group. We had, no, it was Shaykh Yunus's group last year, who had a lot of couples. And although the Azizia part was shared, as in segregated male-female, the Makkah element and the Medina element, they got their rooms to themselves. So we'll do our best. And like I say, majority of the time that will work.
Thank you for that. Next question is contacting Nusuk. Rashid bhai, what's the best way to contact Nusuk if people have any questions around the Hajj portal application process?
They can scroll to the bottom of the Nusuk website. There's a WhatsApp number, there's a Saudi contact number, there's an email address through there, and raise a ticket. They have a support mechanism there, and raise a ticket. That's what they're there for, to support you.
Absolutely. And they're probably very busy right now as well, Rashid bhai. So I guess the response times probably won't be immediate. So you'll have to be a little bit patient as they go through all those tickets.
Patient and persistent. If you've emailed them and expecting them to email back, and you've not had a reply, pick up the phone, give them a call. That's worked for a lot of people as well. So don't just rely on the formalities. Sometimes you've got to be a little bit more forceful and chase that dream, chase that fact that you do want to go to perform Hajj.
Thank you for that. Lots of people asking about the custom flight route. Is there such a thing, Rashid bhai, on the Nusuk Hajj portal, the custom flight route, or is that something that people are just assuming that will be possible? I think we're having some connection issues on your side. There you go.
Sorry, yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
I missed the question.
No problem. I think you're back with us. So let me just ask that question one more time. So a few people are asking about custom flights and a custom flight option. Is that something that's going to be possible?
You'll have an option to select your own flights. So one, you'll get presented the package, what you're seeing on Nusuk at the moment. When you come to the booking phase, you'll have the package with the flight recommended per group. And then you'll have an option to say, I want my own flight. And then within that, select your own flight. So yeah, you'll have an option there.
But you have to do it through the Nusuk portal.
Has to be done through Nusuk.
Okay, thank you for that. Next question is about somebody saying, Zaid is asking, my current passport pages are almost full. Can I use my current passport and when my new one comes up, use it for the visa?
Look, you need to make sure that your travel document, i.e. your passport, matches with the one that's on Nusuk and the one that you'll be traveling out of. So for example, you've uploaded the one currently and you've verified and you're waiting for a new one. If in between the booking process and your passport arriving, you book, then the old passport will be the one that you'll have to travel out with. Now, you could have issues because sometimes immigration demand that you have certain number of spare or blank pages. So you need to check with Nusuk on that. But generally, make sure all your details on Nusuk match the passport you'll be traveling out of at the time of booking. Once you've booked, assume you're not going to get a single penny back if there's any mistakes on that, or you denied boarding because you forgot or your middle name, for example. I had my profile verified, and as the document was scanned, it missed out the middle names. So I went back in, put my middle names in, and it's done. So when it comes to issuing visas, and by the way, everyone who's completed Nusuk registration, they've actually completed the immigration part of the MOFA, or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So you've actually applied for the Hajj visa already as part of this whole process. So when you come to booking your package, expect that visa to be issued almost within days, if not on the day. So things are going to really speed up this year.
MashaAllah, the benefits of digitization of this process, but that doesn't come without challenges and questions as well, which we're getting, which is fine. Next question, and I hope not too many people are in this situation, but Latif is asking, I have booked today with MCDC, and my flight is showing from Zurich to Yanbu, yet I live in the UK. Does that mean I have to go to Zurich with another flight and connect there? Also, the other package is showing booked, but it cannot take me to review the itinerary, and the money has not been taken out from my e-wallet. Could you advise me what to do? So this brother here has booked a preferred package. Obviously, haven't booked, but selected it as a favorite, if you like, as something they want to book. But it's going from Zurich to Yanbu, Rashid Bhai.
Well, this is the point I made earlier, that these packages that are shown there are open to global Muslims now. And you have to be extremely careful and not just decide on price or whatever and just book it. You need to understand the itineraries, because now, if you do happen to go out and book it, you're going to have a problem of finding connecting flights to Zurich, that headache of transporting luggage, etc. And then who are you going to go be grouped with? Have you booked a European package with somebody speaking a European language, for example? Your guide speaking European language? Can they communicate in English, for example, or your native language? So these are considerations that people need to make. And it's only when you start to talk to guides, or when you start to talk to the service providers, that you'll get an understanding of it. Don't just assume that, oh, I see a package, this is booking.com, you'll book it. You'll find yourself in a little bit of bother, because when you get to the other side, you can't communicate. You won't get that guidance that you need. And that really does uplift your whole pilgrimage experience. So do reconsider. And you're in a fortunate position at the moment to actually dump that package and perhaps go to a different package.
So Latif can, sorry to interrupt you, Rashid, but so Latif can actually cancel this preferred package at the moment and then try and find something that originates from the UK.
Absolutely. You're only shortlisting packages at the moment.
Thank you. And maybe, Latif, you want to take that advice into serious consideration, because it could be a major inconvenience if your Hajj guide ends up speaking in Swiss German or Swiss French or another, a language that the Swiss speak from Zurich. So just be careful about that. Thank you for that. We're going to take a couple more questions before we close for the evening, but we will be sending out this webinar and more information to everyone who signed up this evening. Next question is asking about shifting and non-shifting, but you already covered that, Rashid Bhai. So when we send out the recording, this questioner can view that. Next question, is the Hadi and the Dam al Shukr included as part of all the packages, or is it an additional service?
That was mentioned already by Rashid. They're separate services. The Hadi is the Qurbani, and the Dam al Shukr will be bought over there, and you'll be told how you can purchase the animals there.
Now, what sort of cost are people looking at approximately in terms of the Qurbani?
I think it's about a couple of £100.
Okay, thank you. Another question, which is around, is there a list of UK ulama going this year to Hajj that can support British Hajjis? If not, can CBH look to collect this data?
Inshallah, if anybody has that data already, do share it, and we'll share it to the wider audience. At the moment, we're extremely busy with trying to navigate people through Nusuk. And we are a volunteer-led organization. So if somebody wants to take on that piece of work, happy to join us and join Team CBH and assist wherever helps Hajj this year, next year, into the future. We're all up for it.
Okay, Jazakallah khair for answering those questions, brothers. And I want to go ahead and thank everyone for joining this webinar hosted by CBH UK for Hajj 2024. As mentioned, we will be sending out the recording and answering more of your questions on our website, cbhuk.org. And before we close, let me just get some closing remarks from Shaykh Yunus, and then we'll pass it to Rashid before we close for the evening. So Shaykh Yunus, a quick 30 seconds from you.
Yeah, Jazakallah khair for all the questions. I know there's still a lot of questions out there, and those questions are not exclusive to you. A majority of us have the same questions, even us who've been going for Hajj for many, many years. Because of the new system, because of the Nusuk based system, and because of the new providers, we don't have total clarity, but we're trying to navigate through the different informations that we're receiving, different messages that we're receiving, and trying to understand the system as best as we can. And we will try and help you as much as we can to the best of our ability. We're not perfect, but just bear with the system. Like I said right at the beginning, trials, tribulations are part of Hajj. And for us in this digital era, this is our trial and tribulation for us.
Thank you, Shaykh Yunus, and Jazakallah khair for answering all the questions as well and sharing your words of wisdom as always. And Rashid Mogradia, final words with you.
I just want to say thank you to all our Hujjaj, aspiring Hujjaj, Shaykh Yunus, yourself, for allowing us to be of service to the Hujjaj once again. In regards to the follow-up webinars, if you've already signed up, you'll be sent emails to our upcoming webinars on various subjects and topics that will help assist you in your journey for Hajj, inshallah. Later this week, we will be hosting a separate webinar with Ithra Al-Khair, introducing the packages, going through their packages in detail with the other partners and the other guides as well. So inshallah, you'll all be sent an invitation. Do join that. And then you can make an informed decision. There's other suppliers, other options out available for you. A lot of the questions out there were around guides and imams. Alhamdulillah, we have qualified imams and guides who have been with us, who've experienced Hajj, who know Hajj, who live and breathe Hajj, who will be out there with you. So you'll be guided all the way, inshallah. And that leaves it just to say thank you again to everyone.
Thank you for that, Rashid. And with that, everybody, Jazakallah khair for joining. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make everyone's journey of a lifetime as easy as possible as we endeavor to follow the footsteps of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Until next time, stay tuned for our communications. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.